Imagine this. A gymnast steps onto the Olympic stage with a seriously injured leg. Every doctor would probably scream, "Don't do it!" But what happens is that he pushes through. He lands his routine and even secures a medal for his country. Now hold on, compare that to me screaming like a dying whale when I slam my toe into the corner of the couch. Now here is the question. Why can someone perform superhuman gymnastic moves with a broken knee while the rest of us lose all dignity to a paper cut? Today we are here to uncover a hidden feature in your brain that acts like a neural gatekeeper that decides how much a pain bothers you. And trust me, this neural gatekeeper listens to your mind way more than it listens and pays attention to the source of pain or the injury itself. Alright, so most people think that pain works like this. You cut your finger and boom, your finger sends little emergency text to the brain. "Help, this hurts, this hurts." And the worse the cut, the worse the messages and the worse the pain. It's that simple, right? Except not really. Here's the problem. Pain isn't a one-way street from your toe or your back straight up to your brain. That's a fault theory. People also assume that pain lives in the body part that hurts. Like when your knee hurts, the pain exists inside of the knee. Well, no. Pain is always experienced and understood in the brain. The knee is just sending some raw information up the line to the brain so that the brain can decide what kind of drama to pull out of it. Is it a small indie movie or is it a big blown action film with big explosions? That call is made in your head, not in your knee. And the same confusion happens with painkillers. Most people think pills are like little soldiers. You swallow one, it will travel through your bloodstream, it will find the injured ankle, and it will say, "Don't worry, buddy, I've got this." But the fact is that the painkiller doesn't whisper sweet nothing to your ankle. What it actually does is to change your brain's perception of the pain. It plays with the chemical mixture up here so that your brain stops caring about those alarm signals. So yes, the ankle is still injured, but it is up to your brain to decide whether you feel like you can still walk or you collapse. So the popular story is that more injury equals to more pain, and stronger painkillers equal to stronger local healing. But the fact is that the brain is the DJ mixing the whole pain experience, and sometimes the track it spins doesn't match the size of the injury at all. By the way, if you are enjoying this dive into the psychology of pain so far, consider subscribing. I'm a psychology master's student and I love sharing with you what I am learning. Plus, if you'd like to support me in this process of getting better as a content creator thing, just give the video a like, that really helps. And I would love to hear your thoughts on experiencing pain or on any topic that you want me to cover in the future videos in the comment section. Alright, so if the brain is the DJ mixing this whole pain experience, you're probably wondering who is behind the mixing board. Who is deciding when to crank up the volume or when to turn it way down? Well, meet Periaqueductal Gray, or PAG for short. Tiny name, hard to read, huge job. This little structure in the midbrain is like the VIP bouncer of pain signals. It decides which ones get into the party and which ones get left outside. Here's how it works. The pain signals start from your body, your stub toe or your broken leg. Then they travel up the spinal cord, but before they get to any of those areas that make you say, ouch, they need to pass through some checkpoints. The PAG is one of the main checkpoints. It can slam the gate shut, blocking signals so that they don't bother you that much, or it can swing the door wide open and let every alarm siren blast through. It's literally like a neural gatekeeper. Now what's wild is what influences this gate. You might think it only cares about the injury size, but no, the PAG listens to things that you wouldn't think they have anything to do with pain. Take cultural rituals around the world. and you'll find people walking on hot coals, piercing their skins, and enduring extreme physical challenges with almost no complaint of pain. Are their nerves made of steel? Well, no. Their brains and their PAGs in particular are interpreting those signals, those pain signals, differently. Their brain is told this is not danger, this is meaning, this is pride, this is tradition, this is belonging. And their PAG listens, and it turns the volume of pain way down. Mindset is another big player. Have you heard that placebo painkillers can work almost as good as the real ones? That is not magic, that is expectations. If your brain believes that relief is on the way, the PAG actually flips the gate and reduces the pain signals getting through. The gate doesn't care if the pill is sugar or is it morphine. It cares about what you believe in. And here is where experience comes in. Imagine a professional boxer. After years of training and thousands of punches, their brain doesn't treat those pain signals as emergencies anymore. It is familiar. The brain says, we've been here before, keep the gate steady and let's move on with this hit. But compare that to an average person getting punched in the face. We are talking about instant chaos and rolling on the ground and rethinking all life decisions. The difference isn't just in muscles. The difference is also in the experience and in expectations, rewiring the whole brain's pain system. But is that all? Of course not. We need to talk a bit more about the medical side. Although a sugar pill that you think will help you with your pain will eventually reduce it, there is a number of medicines such as morphine that are proven to have effects beyond that of placebos. These medicines will activate the receptors in the PAG and related areas so that it slams the gate and it even barely lets a few of those pain signals pass through. And even that is not the end. Historically, soldiers in battle have sometimes reported surprisingly little pain and even continue doing their duty despite serious wounds. Similar thing happens for people who get injured in the middle of a heavy-duty task, like a firefighter or a person who is climbing a serious mountain. This is the work of stress. Stress hormones and brain chemistry fire up the PAG to buy some time for survival. The injury is still there, but the brain says, not now, we have something important and urgent to handle, so we can deal with the injury later. But the brain doesn't drop pain only because of chaos and stress. It has its own painkiller called endorphin. It is sort of like your natural opioid, and it binds with the same receptors in the PAG as morphine does. That's why a runner might feel a runner's high, or that's why after a very long and heavy laughter, your body might feel like achy, but you still feel wonderful and you feel good. Human connection is probably the most beautiful example in this case. When you are cared for, supported, and loved by the people you love, your body releases endorphin. That is why feeling safe and supported is not only comforting for us, but also is pain relieving. The chemistry of the brain changes and the PAG shuts the neural gate a bit tighter. Your pain literally shrinks when you're not alone. Now let's crank it all up. Culture is training the PAG to reframe the pain, while expectations are tricking it into dialing the pain down. The drugs are hijacking the PAG while endorphins, from whichever source that we are getting them, are naturally soothing our experience of pain. The injury has not changed while our experience of it has changed, because the PAG is editing the information before they even get near our conscious mind. That was the story of neural gate and why pain is way more psychological than what we ever imagined. As a psychology master student, I find these kind of things really impressive and fascinating, because it tells me that the brain is not just a passive receiver of signals. It is an active storyteller shaping our every moment-to-moment experiences. There is so much in psychology that people outside of the classroom never even hear about it, but they are so cool to be left inside. These are the things that we can all enjoy talking about, and they can also change how we see the human nature and experience. If you stuck around until here, I really appreciate you spending your time with me. So stick around, there is a lot more coming about the brain, the mind, and everything between. Take care, see you in the next video.